So looking back on this project, I'm not exactly sure why I thought I could do this. My intention was to put together an interesting rip, stack, and sort kind of video where I go through and tell the story of finding these cards, how different it is from what I remember in my youth. But the reality of it is, for as much as I enjoy audio editing, I freaking hate video editing. In fact, I hate video editing so much that as much as I do want to curse about it, I don't want to have to figure out how to edit it out so that I can post it to YouTube. Anyway, I had a life-changing event recently where I decided to get trading cards to commemorate it. I didn't know that we were in a trading card boom, though. I kind of started to realize this when I went to get the NFL Donruss Panini pack, and it was $100 and something. Whereas, like, I remember from being a kid getting the same amount of cards via Upper Deck, collector's choice. I think it was like the 96, 97 year. And it cost me like $40. And I was like, I know inflation's a thing, but I don't think it's that much of a thing. So anyway, I started looking into it and I realized that I grew up in, I guess, what is now known as the junk wax era. And that as a response to that, I wouldn't necessarily say we're not in a junk wax era now, but we are definitely in an era where it is now a pain in the ass to get cards. I really only have two memories of getting cards, funny enough, even though I have like thousands of these things. One memory is when I got that collector's choice box set. In fact, the cards that you're looking at me go through right now are from the exact same Target where I got that box set. So it's kind of nuts. All these years later, and that Target still exists. They've built like 20 around it now, but that Target still exists. And I could find year-old baseball cards, which I thought was kind of funny. I kind of feel like these 2020 cards aren't going to be worth that much at the end of the day. Although I do kind of think the 2021 cards are going to be worth something. Definitely if they took pictures where you could tell that there's no fans in the stands. You're kind of going to have like, I think if trading cards are even a thing in 40 years, I think you'll have a nostalgia associated with such a life-altering event / life-ending event for many of the relatives that we know. But yeah, let's not go there. This is just talking about trading cards. But I guess I started to go there because sadly my second memory of trading cards is being in a small town grocery store with my grandmother, who I would later find out was terminally ill. And now you're thinking, oh, grandma, she's old. No, grandma was like late 40s, early 50s. And I was like, I want baseball cards. And she kind of tried to oblige, but my dumb head, I was thinking that, she should have spent more on these things. And yeah, I made an ass of myself. So the two memories I have, one is kind of good but kind of funny because I was like, you buy all these packs to try to like collect them all as if they're Pokemon or something. But the reality of it is like, if you can collect them all without spending more money than a kid would typically be allotted to spend on these things, they're not going to be worth very much, junk wax era or not. Like these Topps cards we're looking at, like they're cool, and they definitely. It's funny because like the Topps packs, they're reminiscent of like what they started doing in '94. Hey, look at Chrome. Um, but then then now you have like the old school of like way back in the day where there's like no sheen to them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like as photographs, they're nice. But my assumption is even though they're trying to create scarcity among these are probably going to be dime a dozen. Funny enough, these 4 packs that I bought, I only had one. Dupe, and that was that Ken Griffey you just saw, or Ken Griffey Jr., which I actually might have the original of too. That I've probably touched one too many times, because I used to have this card game as a kid where it was a dice game. It was almost like Dungeons and Dragons for baseball nerds, but like you had like this board and you had dice and you use the stats off the back of the cards. So it's funny enough, because of that game, I valued cards that had comprehensive stats on them, and I was annoyed if like the stats were left out or you didn't have the year over year. Yeah, I definitely don't want to know what's up with these badge things. I guess I got to figure that out. But yeah, I was like super annoyed when cards didn't have stats, but apparently that's not what anybody gives a shit about. See, I did curse. I'm not editing it. Oh well. Nobody cares about that. They care about like whether it has like stupid gimmicky art on it, which I think is kind of funny. Like cards that have bizarre errors, like they printed the person's name wrong, or maybe there's like a curse word that someone had in the background. I think there's like a Cal Ripken with that or something like that. Like that's interesting to me. Or maybe someone has an interesting name. Like I found this basketball card. I can't remember the guy's name now. It sucks, but like it's just such a great name. And like that stuff's interesting to me, because like artistically, like I'm not saying that these like chrome or these like flashy backgrounds aren't cool, but I mean, if we're being real here, like it's not that interesting. Like I'd rather just like if in these card packs you told me that like Sidney Ferry or like Banksy or someone like drew some badass thing and there's only like 1 or 2 of them, or maybe they did like an original and then they like printed like 30 of them, then I totally would get it. The jersey thing I kind of get, but yeah, like see like the shiny background. I'm kind of okay with that one, because it's kind of interesting, but like really there's just nothing that like from an artistic perspective, like nothing that interesting about it. Plus, what's funny is like towards the end of the junk wax era, I was looking back on my card set, which I think I'll post on here eventually once I figure out what I'm going to do with this channel, if anything. I might just do this one-off video, decide I suck at this because I really hate video editing, and just give up. But anyway, like some of the coolest packs were like the Fleer and like the Top Stadium Club from towards the end of the 90s. Like I've always been, not always been, but like I remember when like the really bad Batman came out with Arnold and Jim Carrey and like just way too many good actors in a terrible movie with really bright colors. But like I remember that movie came out. Uma Thurman was in that movie too, wasn't she? And what was I gonna say? The Joker, right? He did the ransom notes, and I was like obsessed with that kind of like text writing. And like on the Top Stadium Club at the time, they didn't like totally go for the ransom note vibe, but like the Stadium Club cards, which I think are like middle of the road, they just had that cool writing that actually like had some like originality to it. Like again, these tops are kind of reminiscent of like the 1994 tops, although there might have been some other year that they're more like than the 94 tops, because I mean these don't look exactly like them at all, but I guess I say that because it's the same script of tops in the top right, and when you turn the card over it's pretty easy to read the stats. But yeah, so I wanted to get these. I ended up getting that box set, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I got a chrome in here. I think these are kind of cool. I actually have some from my stepdad. Some of these stock cards. Obviously, I don't have a Jackie Rabbit, so that'd be like. I think he had some cards from the '60s, but he said his parents threw them away, so whatever. But I do have some of like the old '79, '80, a couple '60s cards. Which again, if I continue with the channel, I'll sort through all those and go in there. But yeah, I'm very just curious about this hobby. The more I look at like the way that pricing works and like the prices are going up and all that, then it looks like the people who like control the supply of it are adjusting the prices of the case bases on that. So like really the margin or the spread on these is terrible. I.e. the whole like, oh, I'm going to mine Bitcoin because, there's a great margin on it, right? Like remember when it started? I just think it's gone. I think it's way too late. If you're doing this now, it's just because you love it, or I don't know, or you have a problem. But anyway, hope you enjoyed looking at this rip and stack. See ya. Bye-bye. Later.